Good morning, dear students. Let's start here the chapter 14 about the India, climate, natural vegetation and the wildlife. Now in this session, in this video, I will explain you about the whole outline of the whole chapter. Means I will going to explain you the whole chapter without any board because we are having a lot of time. We have so many periods, so many sessions we are having, and so we can use the time. And in this first video I will give you an outline. In this outline I will just explain you the whole chapter in brief without any board. As you can see here, there is no board, no book. Then in the next video I will explain you in parts on the board. So let's start here about the climate. And India climate, if you find the climate of India, our country is the 7th largest country in the world, and we are having a very diverse climatic condition. And if you find from the north in the Jammu and Kashmir, from where you can see the Himalayas, it just forms one big mountain region there. And you will see the climate here in the northern part of India, especially in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh, is a mountainous type of climate. And usually the top of the Himalayas, which are snow covered, usually having the alpine climate. So usually the mountainous climate, we also call it alpine climate. And as you come down there, there is a great plains. And in the Great Plain also, if you see there in the Rajasthan, usually has a dry climate. You will find about the rainfall. So this region, the northwest India, receives very least rainfall, and especially the Thar Desert, which receives the less than 25 centimeter rainfall, and that's why this region has been developed into a desert. We call it a Thar Desert. Then you will see in the other plain, which has been drained by the river Ganga and its tributary, and in Assam there is a Brahmaputra river with its tributaries, and this is the region where you will find a continental type of climate. Now when we talk about the continental type of climate, so continental type of climate means the region which is far from the sea and which is not influenced by the sea. And so this region experience a very extreme type of climate. Means the summers are very extreme, even the winters are also very, very extreme, and even the rainfall, the rainy season is also very extreme. So all types of season here is very extreme. And this is why this region, the whole region, the North India, you will find it experience a continental type of climate. As you move towards south, so there is a peninsular India, the South India, which is surrounded by the water from the three sides. To its west there is Arabian Sea, then to its east there is the Bay of Bengal, and to the south there is the Indian Ocean. Now this whole region, peninsular India, it experiences a very different type of climate. In fact, you will find the Tropic of Cancer divides India into two halves. So the region above the Tropic of Cancer, that is the North India, experience a subtropical type of climate. Now what is the meaning of subtropical type of climate? The subtropical type of climate is the region which experience both the temperate and tropical type of climate. So usually if you find the North India, we are already living in North India, and you can find here that the winter season we experience very extreme cold conditions. So this is the temperate climate. So winter season usually we in the North India experience the temperate type of climate, while during the summer season we experience very, very hot climate, that is a pure tropical type of climate. So this subtropical region usually is also known as the transition region. The transition region is the region which experience, or you can say the region which lies between the two climatic zones. So this region, the North India, as it lies between the temperate region and the tropical region, So we call it subtropical region, which is also can be called as transition zone. we experience not only subtropical type of climate, so this type of climate can be termed as subtropical type of climate, or sometime also we can use the word transition climate, means the two type of climate because we experience. Now next, as we move to the south, and you will find this region lies in the tropical region, experience very pure tropical type of climate. So South India doesn't experience any winter condition, and you will find the summers are very hot while the winters are not cold, but it's very warm. So here, that's why in South India we will find the people, they don't need the warm clothes. But the one more thing you will find in the South India, there are another condition which also affect the climate, that is the condition of the sea, the coastal area, the region which is close to the sea, we call it coastal region, and it is being influenced by the sea, and every day the sea breeze, land breeze, it influence the climate of the coastal region, and it doesn't allow the climate to get very hot neither very cold, and so this coastal region experience the moderate type of climate. But as you move interior part, you will find the climate becomes very extreme. Now example, we can take an example of Mumbai, which is situated very on the shore, on the seashore, experience the moderate type of climate. But at the same time, if you find Nagpur, which is very far, that is, it is situated in the interior part of Maharashtra, and here you will find the summers are very hot, so temperature can be very high there. So now why it is? Because it is very far from the influence of the sea. Well, so first of all, we are going to see the factors which affect or determine the climate of India. So the important factors are the latitude. Second factor is altitude. Altitude means height. Third factor is the mountains, the Himalayas, all of you know, the position with the respect to the mountains. And the fourth important factor is the distance from the sea. And the fifth one is the winds. Now winds actually are of many types. There are the permanent winds, there are the temporary winds, there are seasonal winds, there are the periodic winds, then there are the local winds. So there are even the cyclones and anticyclones. They are also a special type of winds. So you can find all these winds influence India. Different parts of India is been influenced by these winds. In fact, the whole season of the climate of India, it is named after the winds. And which wind? It is a monsoon wind, and we call it monsoon season. So actually the word monsoon is used for the wind. Monsoon actually is the name of wind. We call it monsoon winds. So there are two types of monsoon winds: southwest monsoon winds, northeast monsoon winds. So we are going to see all these important factors first of all. So first of all, let me explain you about the latitude. Now, as all of you know, India lies in the region of that is tropical region and subtropical region, as I explained you. And Tropic of Cancer, which is one of the very important latitude, divides Earth into two division, right? So here, as I explained you, the Tropic of Cancer, it divides India into two halves, that is North India and South India. And already I have explained you that how the North India experience the subtropical type of climate, as it lies between the two zones, that is the temperate zone and tropical zone. While South India, that region below the Tropic of Cancer, as it lies purely in the tropical region, it experiences pure tropical type of climate. Now second is the altitude. Now if you find India, in India there are the different relief features. Relief means the different height, or you can say the landscape, we call it the relief feature. So you can find in the north, India is bounded by the highest mountain range, that is Himalayas. Himalayas, as you can see, the Himalayas already in the previous chapter I explained you that the northern arc, the Himalaya, it is actually has the three parallel range, and there is the highest mountain range is Himadri, then Himachal and Shivalik. Now here these Himalayas, as you can find, it is a mountainous region, and you will find the temperature is very cold here. Now why it is? I explained you what happened as we go up. As we move up with the height, what happened? Temperature decreases. Now there are the two reasons why the temperature decreases. First of all, you will find as we move up, actually the air becomes thinner and thinner. At the same time, as we move up with the higher altitude, what happened? The usually the climate, actually the atmosphere usually is heated from the terrestrial radiation, means the heat radiated back by the earth. It is not directly heated by the sun rays. So you will study all these things in class 9th. So here what happened here, as the air becomes thinner and thinner, that's why at the higher altitude what happened, the temperature usually is cooler, and that's why you can find all the hill stations. Maybe if you see about the Shimla or Masuri or Nainital or maybe any hill station, you will find they are all known for one thing, the cooler climate. Well, so this is another factor, the altitude. Now even in the South India, if you'll find the region which is situated at the higher altitude, you will find you maybe have heard about the Ooty, then Nilgiris, and there are the Mahabaleshwar, Panchmadi. Now these are all hill stations which are situated in the south, and these all hill stations are known for their cool climate. So usually the tourists used to go these places. Now why they experience the cool climate? Because of the altitude, right? Now next is the position with the respect to the mountains. Now mountains, if you find here, it plays a very important role influencing the climate of India. Now here first of all, the North Himalaya. The Himalayas, which is the highest mountain range and which separates India from the rest part of Asia, and this is why in the previous chapter I explained you, India and the neighboring countries, they are also termed as the Indian subcontinent. Now why it is? Because this region has been separated from the rest part of Asia, and from the very ancient time up to the medieval period, we will find here this was very difficult for the people from this region to just move very frequently or very easily to the other parts of the world. And this is why if you find the language, the culture, even the way of living, even the eating habit, everything that develops here, it is totally different from the other part of the world. Now what happened, India was a place where the different type of people, they came here and they settled here. So you will find the Mongolians, if you find the three important races, they are the Caucasus race, means the white people, then the Mongolian race, we call it Mongoloids, which usually the people which are Chinese people, right? And then the Negroids, that are the Negroes, the black people. Now usually all the races, they came to India and they settled here, and what happened, they just mixed together with each other, and this is how the Indian race was developed. So Indian race actually is a pure mixture of all the races, and India became the house of these people of a mixed race. So we actually Indians are a pure mixed breed, mixed race. And that's why anywhere you will find here we are been known by the Indians, a very different type of people. Well, now how it happens? Because this whole region was being separated from the rest part of Asia, and it was very difficult so that the people can frequently go to the other part of the world, other part of the Asia, and this is the reason. And that's why this region is also termed as subtropical region. Now why it happened? Because of the Himalayas. Well, now next let's see about that how this Himalaya actually affect the climate of Asia. So first of all, these Himalayas, it protects India from the cold Siberian breeze. So there are the very cold Siberian breeze which blows from Siberia and which just brings the snowfall, and the large part of China actually is covered with the snow, even up to the Egypt. But these breeze actually, cold winds are being protected. They are not allowed to enter in India. Why? These Himalayas, these mighty Himalayas, they don't allow these winds to enter in India, and that's why the places in North India you will find we don't experience the snowfall. Secondly, these Himalayas, they also act as a barrier to the rain-bearing winds, as the southwest monsoon winds which blow from southwest direction, that is from the sea and the ocean, that is from Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean, it carries a large amount of moisture. So when they enters in India, these winds are being trapped by the Himalayas, and this is how this region, I mean our country, receives so good rainfall. So these Himalayas are a blessing for our country, and this way, the two ways, first of all, they protect India from the cold Siberian breeze. Secondly, they also trap the rain-bearing wind, and this is how we receive so good rainfall. And this is how the Himalayas, it affect the climate of India. Well, even if you find in South India, in the western side of South India, you will find in the map. Look, you can find the map in the book, and already I have explained you about the Western Ghat. Now, Western Ghat are the hill range, the hilly area. These hills actually also trap the southwest monsoon winds, and this is how these southwest monsoon winds sheds a very good rainfall from Kerala to up to Gujarat. So this whole region actually receives so good rainfall. Why? Because these Western Ghat so traps these rainfall. So usually if you find most part of India, the rainfall which occurs is the relief type of rainfall. In class 9th you will study about the different types of rainfall. So there are the three types of rainfall. The first is the conventional type of rainfall, second is the relief type of rainfall, and third is the cyclonic type of rainfall. And the most part of India we receive usually the relief type of rainfall. Okay, so now next let's move to the distance from the sea. Now here the distance from the sea, if you find, already I told you, already I explained you that region which is situated close to the sea, they experience moderate type of climate. But the region which is very far from the sea, what happened? They experience very extreme type of climate. And this is how actually this factor, distance from the sea, also affect the climate. And that's why all the coastal region, they experience moderate type of climate. And you will find all the metropolitan cities, 3 out of 4 metropolitan cities, they lies in the coastal areas. You will see the Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. These all three cities, the metropolitan cities, they all situated where? In the coastal area. Now why it is? Because they experience a moderate type of climate. Now why it is? They are situated close to the sea and influenced by the sea breeze and the land breeze. Well, next is the winds. So this is the last factor we are going to see, and here we are going to end this class, but let me explain you. Now winds. So the most important wind which affect the climate of India is the monsoon wind. The word monsoon is derived from, or you can say it develops from the Arabic word mosim. Now mosim word is Arabic word which means the wind which reverses their direction. So in the medieval period, the people, the sailors, usually when they used to sail in the sea, and they found that for the 6th month in India, the wind blows from southwest direction, while for the 6th month these winds blow from northeast direction, and that's why they call this wind, they named this wind as monsoon wind. So I think all of you now understood. The word monsoon is not it doesn't mean rainy season. Sometimes we use the monsoon season means rainy season. Some of you may think that monsoon means rainy season. No, monsoon doesn't mean rainy season. Monsoon also doesn't mean season. Monsoon word is the name of the wind. So here for 6 months from the June onwards, so June, July, August, September, October, right? So especially not from the October, but you will see usually this wind starts developing from April. So we can say that April, May, June, July, August and September, for these 6 months the wind blows from southwest direction and we call it southwest monsoon. Then what happened from the October onwards, the winds reverse their direction and they starts blowing from northeast direction. And so for the month of October, November, December, January, February and March. So for the 6th month, the wind blows from the northeast direction and we call them northeast monsoon winds. And now you will find here these both winds, they change the season. Southwest monsoon, as they start, you will find summer comes with the rainy season. So rainy season it is with the summer. Then as the summer ends in September, from October onwards, the northeast monsoon wind starts, and what happened? These winds brings the winter season. So if you see here, mainly India experience two type of climate, two type of season. What is it? First is the summer season and winter season, because the rainy season, it is in the summer season. It is a part of a summer season. Well, so here you will find, first of all, the first and the most important wind which affect the climate of India is monsoon wind. Then the monsoon wind is two types. First is southwest monsoon winds, which brings the rainfall and summer season. Second is the northeast monsoon winds, which are dry winds, and first of all, for the 2 months they just push all the clouds backward, and then you can see it brings winter season. So these are the two most important winds. Actually, they are the one wind, monsoon wind. Now, because they change their direction, so we can also call them the two winds or two parts of monsoon winds. They influence the climate of the whole India. Now, beside this monsoon winds, there are some local winds also affect the different part of India. Now, you will find in the month of March and April in the North India, there is a very hot and dusty wind blows all over India, especially in the North India. And this wind is called Lu. So, Lu is a local wind. In the state of West Bengal and Assam and some parts of Odisha, there is another local wind, brings a short rainfall there, and these winds are known as Kal Baisakhi. We also call it nor'wester winds. So it brings a slight rainfall there, and this rainfall is very good for the tea, for the jute, and also for the rice crops. Then in South India, there is another local wind which brings a slight rainfall, and this is known as mango shower. Now usually this rainfall occurs in the month of April and May, right? And this rainfall is very good for the mango crop, and also for the crop coffee and tea, which is usually grown on the hills of Nilgiris and some parts of Western Ghat. And so this is how the mango shower, this is also a very important local winds. So we have seen the three local winds. First is the Lu, second is the Kal Baisakhi, which is also known as nor'wester, and third is the mango shower. So these local winds also influence the climate, some different parts of India, climates of different parts of India. Now beside these winds, there are some special winds. What are they? Let's see. Cyclones. So now cyclones are of two types: tropical cyclones, temperate cyclones. Now what are the tropical cyclone? Now cyclone, when you see, it is very high speed winds when they blow and brings the rainfall, and also the hailstone destroys. It is very destructive. It just destroys everything when it is very strong. So these cyclones are called tropical cyclone. Now they are very destructive. But in the month of December and January, sometimes we experience a slight rainfall, especially in this winter season. Now this rainfall is caused by the temperate cyclone. Now how the temperate cyclone occurs? When the warm and the cold wind, they meet together. So what happened from the Mediterranean Sea, the rain bearing wind, as it enters in India and it meets with the cold wind in India, and what happened? So the slight rainfall occurs here. So temperate cyclones are not destructive, but they brings a slight rainfall, and this rainfall is very good for the wheat crop especially, and some other crops which is usually grown in this Rabi season. Now beside this, there is one more special wind. We call it anticyclone. Now anticyclone are just reverse, opposite of the cyclone. Now this time around, you will find sometimes the weather becomes very foggy, very foggy and cloudy also. But next morning, you see there is no fog, and what happened? The sky becomes clear and it is very shiny, and you will see the wind starts blowing. Well, maybe the wind is very cold, but the weather becomes very fine. So this is caused by the anticyclone. Now what is anticyclone? When anticyclone occurs, we don't even feel it because the weather becomes so fine. There is no fog. So anticyclone means the region of high pressure surrounded by the low pressure, in which the wind starts blowing from high to low pressure. Now these are the things I am telling you. It is somewhat higher level things than you, but I am explaining you just to know you the name at least, because you will study all these winds in class 9th. So as you will get an introduction of these winds, so it will be easier for you to understand about these winds in class 9th. So we have seen here that which important winds influence the climate of India. First of all, I explained you about the monsoon wind. Monsoon wind is a seasonal wind. Third is the local winds we have seen, Lu. Kal Baisakhi, which is also called nor'wester, and mango shower. And third, we have seen the cyclones, two types of cyclones, tropical cyclone and temperate cyclone. And the fourth one, we have seen the anticyclone. So these are the special winds. And we have seen here that how these winds, they influence the climate of India. So today only this much. Now next period, on board I will explain you this thing with the map. So all the best. All of you just read this chapter, and in the live class, all of you get ready to ask me the question. So there, as you will raise the hand, even the previous chapter, if you want to ask anything, there is a one section is there, raise hand. As you will click it, so I will come to know that you want to ask the question, and then I will, in the Zoom app, as I will unmute you, and then one by one you can ask your question. And if you will not ask, then I will ask you individually. So get ready, all of you. Okay, all the best.